Gotta get your brain right if you're trying to make $1 million. If you ain't gonna do it for yourself, then do it for your mama. Only stay surrounded by them people if you know they solid. Elevate your hustle up today to double up your profit. Trying to learn some game, Xavier gon' talk about it. No Deanna, speak that shit that everybody vouching. Ain't no more excuses valid. Get up off the couch and get up in your bag. To your bank account, need an accountant.
Yo, welcome back to the greatest show on earth, the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast. I am your host, Xavier. Once again, I'm here with a super dope show. But before we get started, I would like to advise all our guests and listeners to please like, subscribe, rate, and review the show and the channel. All those things, we greatly appreciate it. So if y'all could do that, like I said, we would appreciate it. And before we start, I just want to say my co-host, D, she will be, like I said this on the last episode, I think. I said she'll be back in the studio soon, but I promise y'all she'll be back soon. She's been out for a minute, but she about to be back, I promise y'all. But get right into the show, man. Today I got an amazing guest, man. This is an episode that is definitely overdue, man. This is a great man. He's doing great things, and I met him, what has been like, it seemed like that was this year. It probably had to be like a year ago. Last summer, right?
Last summer.
Yeah, last summer, and man, we've been locked in. I'm happy to have him here. His name is Tim Jackson. So welcome to the show, bro. Like I said, I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, man. It's a long time overdue, man. I've been following your movement, man. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. The culture needs this, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. So just getting right into it. So for the people who this may be their first time seeing you, hearing of you, do you mind just giving like a quick background on it so let the people know who you are?
Absolutely. My name is Tim Jackson. Mr. Purpose on Demand is my tagline. From Dallas, Texas originally. By way of just, life, man. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. Went off to the military, came back home, got into real estate, became a broker, started investing. Got really heavily involved in mentoring, young kids through my nonprofit Real Youth Mentoring and through various other channels. I'm a former zoning commissioner in Dallas, Texas.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, got a chance to see a lot of things downtown, at the city of Dallas of how real estate really works and how things really move in the city. Proud husband, proud father. I can't really complain about much, man. Retired at the age of 37. If you watch any of my videos, I always say that at the beginning. But just really big on teaching people a different way, like providing the alternative to people. You know what I'm saying? Because specifically within our community, you either play ball, you either sing a song, do a dance, or sell dope, right?
Yep. That's a fact.
And so, when I wrote my book, Real Dope, I wanted to talk about ways, specifically for men like us, to make legal money and to live a life worth living and being able to be happy about what they're doing and about the success, but more importantly, to pass that down and share. Yeah.
See, and this is why I love having people like you on, because like most of the time we on the show we have people that might be mid-20s, maybe late 20s, early 20s. But when you got somebody that's like experienced, how old are you now?
Man, I'm 39.
39.
Man.
So
this is my last year before 40. Man, I'm about to be washed. Pretty soon.
I'm turning 29 2 weeks from now. This is my last year before 30.
Hey, let me tell you what. Anything you eat after 5 o'clock, man, you better do some sit-ups once you hit 30, man. You're gonna be.
I'm already feeling it now, bro. I've been in the gym. I've been in the gym a lot the past couple of weeks. I feel it now, man. But I love having someone like, I don't want to say you older, but just older. I love having people like that on the show because obviously with age comes experience most of the time.
Sir.
And and to be honest, with us in our 20s, even if you're a teen, you following. We hope to hit 40 one day.
Absolutely.
So we following in your footsteps, and you already got a blueprint. You didn't been there, done things that we aspired to do. So people in your position, I feel like could give a lot more. Because you can have all the information, but at the end of the day, we know the real teacher is experience. You know what I'm saying? Because information ain't nothing without understanding. And it's a lot of information out here that people truly don't understand. But when you got somebody like you that experienced a lot, you're going to have the information plus to understand. That's why I love having people like you on the show.
Information, understanding, and application. Too many people get all this information. They don't do anything with it, and then they wonder why their life is on pause. I just get sick of having conversations with people that have all the information. They can argue you down, Xavier, about what we should be doing, how this should look. And I say, well, what are you doing? And then the conversation changes. Well, man, it ain't about that. It's about me getting the information out there. No. It's about the execution and the application. And until you execute and apply, you're not really doing anything. You're just running your mouth. And I've always been a low-key person. I don't like being in front of the spotlight. But getting around, just seeing how the culture is going right now, what we call the culture,
Right.
it's important for somebody to shift that narrative and to say, no, that's not what that is. You know, that ain't this and this ain't that. So that's where I come in at.
Hey, you know I love that. Let's talk about because I know you retired at 37. So how did you get to that point? Let's talk about that.
Man, let's talk about it. To be honest with you, I've always been really, really frugal. But I understand that you can't save your way to wealth. It's impossible. I don't care if you save every check for the next 30 years. You're not going to have a lot of money with inflation, right?
That's
and
right.
so when I was, I talk about it in my book, man. When I was in high school, I had a friend who, everyone always has that friend in high school that had the car, freshman, sophomore year, had all the nice clothes.
Yep.
And I had a friend whose mom would always be at the school. Like anytime we had something going on, her mom would be there. And I was like, man, that's dope. Like, what does your mom do for a living
be here all the time.
to afford her the opportunity to be at a pep rally at 2:00 in the daytime? And she was like, yeah, my mom was a real estate broker. Now, I'm an old head. We didn't have the internet like y'all had it, right? I had those AOL CDs where you get 15 minutes of free internet, right? So I literally had to go to the library in my school and research what that was. And I was like, man, I don't know what this is, but that's what I want to do. I want to be able to put myself in a position to where if my children have events going on, I want to be there. Because my mom worked hard. She worked a good job. My mom and my stepfather worked hard. But they couldn't be at everything. They came to the stuff they needed to come to. My mom never missed a game, stuff like that. But she often showed up in her uniform. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And, I want, she couldn't go to every field trip. So fast forward to that, man, I went off to the military. That's something me and you have in common when we first met.
Air Force too, right?
Air Force, man.
Yeah.
Got back home. All my partners were still selling dope and doing the same stuff. And so I told myself I always wanted to retire before 40. So I got into real estate. I was working in corporate. And to anyone watching this, I'm never going to crap on a corporate job, right? Because I made my money through corporate. Like all my clients came through corporate. But I started to focus around the age of 30, man. I felt like I had just hit like a brick wall.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like I made great money. This is during the heyday when Dallas was hosting Super Bowls and All-Stars the same year. This was during my time where I was making good money in corporate. I was a corporate trainer. I launched the very first Android device, here in the United States, traveled around, taught people that. Like I had a good career, but I wasn't content. And I said, no matter how much I work here, I'll never be able to become a millionaire, no matter how much they pay me, right? Doing this only, like this and this alone. So I started getting into real estate, got my license, started selling a lot of properties. Then I purchased my first property, flipped my first property. It was the worst flip that you can ever imagine.
I said the first one always the worst.
Bro, anything that could have went wrong on that flip. I'm talking about anything. We had to talk off the cameras. I tell you everything. Like it was crazy, right? But I didn't give up. And so we kept doing that. And me and my girlfriend, fiance, now wife at the time, we just stayed at it. We found a formula. We stuck to it. We bought and held. We bought and flipped. We did all that. But I was really big on debt, like not acquiring debt, but using my debt, i.e. credit cards, i.e. whatever loans that I could obtain to purchase more wealth. Because once you do that, now the debt and the credit is paying for your lifestyle.
Right.
And a lot of people say, either you don't use any credit at all or you run it up. But I kind of find myself in the middle where I use it strategically to buy properties or to buy assets that I know are going to yield me back money. And I put myself in a position, when COVID hit, I was good. I don't have no debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I said, you know what, man, I'm about to hit 40. The money's good. It's coming in every month. I'm going to take a break. And I literally announced it. I'm retired. I still have a broker's license. If I get a referral, if it's a big enough,
big enough check.
Yeah. If it's like a $500,000 and above, I'm definitely going to put that on the market, right? But for the most part, man, like I pass it off. My wife will do it because she has her license and, I'll hand it off to a friend and get a referral fee. But for the most part, I sat back and said, I'm going to reinvent myself completely and learn different aspects of business, specifically online, because that's where the money is. And that's where I'm at.
That's that's so dope because a lot of people when they hit that like late 30s, it's kind of like they be like, I don't know this lane, so I ain't gonna mess with it. I'm gonna leave that to y'all.
And they start hating.
Yep.
They hate.
Yep.
They'll see a person like you and other guys that you hang around with pulling up in these nice whips, wearing these nice, watches, and instead of saying, how can I get that or how did you do that, they start talking down. And I've never been that dude. I've always been a dude like, hey, how you do it? Mm-hmm. Because I want you to teach my 12-year-old this. Because he's the next. I got to
He's the
pass the
next.
baton to him.
He's next. Yeah,
So if I'm giving him old game from when I was doing it, think about our parents. Our parents worked a good job for 30 years, retired, got a gold watch,
Yep.
and we take care of them.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be funny if my parents are watching this, right? You know, we help them out when we need to because that system didn't work
It didn't.
at all. And any of them will tell you that, right? Well, if you're 10 years younger than me and you're 10 years ahead of me, why wouldn't I bring my son so that he can hear you speak? That's crazy for me to give him the same bad game. Not bad game, but the game that I got, that's played out. That's like playing a PS1, you know?
Facts.
You still can play the game, but it ain't the same game. So my thing was, let me reinvent myself. But when I started working with people in prisons, working with people who were coming home from prison, trying to reintegrate themselves into life, I had to force myself to learn what was going on out here to get them to apply to what they were doing so they could learn ways to make legal money through technology, through trucking, through whatever it was that's popping before they picked up a pack and went to go sell crack, you know?
And I wanna ask you this. I think this is a very important question. What you touching on how like the older generation can learn a lot from the younger generation. But I want to ask you, in this younger generation with information technology, a lot of times we sort of think we already know every damn thing. So what do you think the younger generation? What can we learn from y'all?
The value of work. So I didn't say this in my intro. I have a nonprofit organization called Real Youth Mentoring. Every month we put on an event where we teach boys different aspects of business, whether it's trucking, technology, how to make $1 million in sports without playing the game, how to make $1 million in real estate. Like our theme is $1 million, right? And what I see consistently, Xavier, is that this newer generation, they don't like to work because of technology. And because of what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So when I was, again, I'm only 10 years older than you, right? I'm a millennial, right?
Yeah.
But for me, turning 15, turning 16 and getting a job was the most
The biggest
important thing in the world. Like
Yeah.
I've been working since I was 10, right? I played the drums in my church and got paid $10 a week.
Right.
And I would take that money and go to a dollar store and buy candy for $1 and then sell it, one for 50 cents. Like then I would take that money and go cut, buy lawn equipment and cut yards. Like I always wanted to work. I saw parents work. My mother, my stepfather, my uncles, my aunts, my sister, everyone around me worked their ass off. In this new generation, there's this misconception that I can make one post, it'll go viral.
And I'm gonna get rich.
Everyone's gonna know me. I'm gonna be rich, and then I can go to Miami and get on the yacht. Like
That's facts.
That's the
facts.
misconception. And what people don't see is all these bags under our eyes. They don't understand like the work that we put into our wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't mind, I'll this is a quick story. I'll never forget. My wife, she's in education. She's in the education administration, so she works in the administration side. She left a job. She took some time off work. She was having some things going on in her job that she didn't too much care for. And I said, man,
Take some
F
time
that
off.
job, man. Come on, just take a break. So she took a break and came and worked with me. And I'll never forget the first night she worked with me. We left home at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we got back home at 9 o'clock at night. And I'll never forget, we walked into the kitchen, and her hair was everywhere. She was just, she said, babe, I didn't realize how much you worked. Like, how easy you make this job look. She said, but just watching you work today and being with you all day, I have a newfound appreciation for what you do. And I tell people, especially the younger generation, like, start to value work. Because everyone else isn't. If you can just work a little 10% more than the average person, you'll get 100% more of the value.
Yeah, especially today, like you said, because people not working.
There's literally a shortage on employment
Everywhere.
Like I have friends that work in HR, and they're like, Tim, we can't fill these positions starting at $50,000, $60,000 a year. We can't fill them. People don't want to work. And I'm like, dang, everybody want to be an online millionaire.
Everybody want to be the online. It look good.
It look good, man. They hustle for the cherry on top and not the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
Yeah, man, I think I'm going to go ahead and trademark
Yeah,
that. I done said that in every interview, but
Trademark it.
But literally, they hustle for the cherry on top and not the cake. And it's like the cherry on top, you and I both know, like, that moment, I call it a moment in time. When you pull up to the light in a new car, a nice car, and you see somebody next to you and you flex on them, whatever you're doing, you'll never see that person again. But for a moment in time, you got to have that moment of, yeah, look at me. And people are literally trying to live that moment every day.
Every day.
Like, the spoils, you celebrate the wins short term,
Mm.
and then you move on. You know what I'm saying?
I like that because I think in this time right now with social media, all you see is people wins, and I think people get it confused and think this is this person's everyday life. So this should be my everyday life without knowing this is you could batch create content. You could make a bunch of content from one night and spread it out through months if you posting it right for real.
Bro, I'm running the same play. I did some videos in February that are still running.
Exactly.
And they're getting great traction. But it's
Exactly.
like people don't understand that. They think that I'm at some of these places at that moment.
At that moment.
No.
Absolutely
I've been
not.
gone. And then, you know what's so funny? The stuff that's getting the most traction now is old recycled
Cycle
stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's this misconception. And one thing that I vowed that I would do in this internet space once I start really getting into it is I vowed that I would share my losses. Like I gotta post my losses. I got to, because if I don't, you're gonna think it's sweet. It ain't sweet.
It ain't.
I done took $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 hits.
Talk about it.
Bruh.
Talk about it. I know the feeling.
Bro, I took a $85,000, almost a $90,000 hit just on my office rent in the last 2 years. Just on my office rent. Because my office it's huge if you come to it.
Right.
And I have 4 offices on the inside. So I have an attorney, a nonprofit, an insurance company, and then myself who have those offices. Then we have another office that's a bunch of cubicles, 8 cubicles. So people used to rent those out from me every month. It was like a work center. Then I have this huge classroom. And so everything was booming. Like every weekend, somebody was renting out the classroom and business was good. And then the world shut down.
Yep.
Nobody's coming anywhere. And because no one taught me that, you know, they always say, get an LLC, get an LLC. Well, how you structure that LLC matters.
It's very important.
If you're a single member LLC, you take on the liability. And I couldn't get out of that lease because I was the only person on the LLC. So essentially, I signed a personal guarantee in my office. So for the first 3 months, I remember one time I got off the elevator, we got the biggest office in the building. From the elevator to my office, walking down that hallway, there was like 6 eviction notices. No one was paying rent. I was literally the only person on that floor paying my rent. I took a $90,000 hit because had I defaulted, they could have sued me and it would have messed up my credit. And I teach about credit. So how am I going to be the guy who filed? And I called my attorney. He's like, bro, all you can do is file bankruptcy. I said, I'm not filing
You're not
bankruptcy.
filing bankruptcy.
But thankfully, I had the bread because I had the investments. I had things that were paying me, so I didn't miss a beat. But the average person would have folded paying $4,000 to $4,200 a month every month for 2
single month.
years, and nobody's coming to the office. The average person would have bankrupted that. Like that's not cheap.
You give us some game. And I think there's more game and information in talking about the loss than discussing the win.
Bruh. I've made more money in my L's than I've ever made my wins.
Talk. What you mean by that?
Because you know what not to do. Think about it. Think about when you make a mistake. Like when we flipped our first house, when I tell you everything that could have went wrong. Everything that could have went wrong. Everything. And we learn what not to do. And so many people are so afraid to go out there and make a mistake because they don't want to look stupid. But there's fortune in looking stupid. There's a lot of profit in looking stupid once or twice because you know exactly what not to do. But then also people see you as being authentic. So the person who you really need to attract is going to be attracted to you because they see that you're authentic. They know once they show up, you're going to be the exact same person who showed them what they need to know. How many times you done met somebody and you see them online and, man, they look so good, then you meet in real life, you're like, man, that is not who they are.
Man, listen. Man. I'm going to say this. The past 3 months, I've been having a lot of conversations with close friends and people. Like, we kind of revamping everything we do just because. And this is one of the big reasons. Like, people always ask me, like, are you going to this event or are you about to? And I'll be like, man, only if you. Since I'm a podcaster and I've been doing this for so long, I meet so many people. I know so many people, and you get to really know people. And when you see how much fluff and bullshit is out here, how much people lie, it's like I don't want to be around. Yeah.
Oh, we can say bullshit?
You can say whatever you want.
Shit, let's get it.
You say whatever you want. This is my show. You say whatever the hell you want. But when I see how much, like how you talk, how much cap I would say is out here, it just turns me off completely to a lot of things that's regarding the financial community, because I know how many people are lying about their lifestyle and what they do, how much money they make, all that. So I'll be like, I don't want to be around it. If I don't know you, I got people that can vouch for you. I know you official. I feel authenticity when I'm with you. I can look in your eyes and be like, this person legit. I'll be like, I'm cool for real. On all of it.
I always tell people I was a public. I'll use quotation marks in case somebody watching they want to hate on me.
Right.
I was a public official, meaning that I was appointed by a politician, in the city to serve as a zoning commission, right? Mm-hmm. So my information, for the most part, is public. You can look up everything.
Right.
If I told you how many spam calls I got a day, I kid you not, based on from the properties we own, from just being on the zoning commission, how many calls I get a day, because my information was public forever, right? It still is. You can show up at a certain place at a certain time on a certain day and see that I'm not bullshitting.
Oh, I believe it, bro.
And it's like, rich is flashy and wealth is quiet.
Right, yep.
I tell people that all the time. And I come from a place in Dallas where you didn't show your money. You can fuck around and get robbed. Like, I'm just keeping it real with you. Like, I know partners that I went to school with who robbed people that we went to school with.
That's
crazy. For pulling up, being too flashy, right? Mm-hmm. That was one of the first lessons I learned leaving Dallas. That summer before I went to the military, I saw one of my partners at the gas station, at the car wash, and he had took his rims off his car. He had some, I'm going to date myself, he had some 20-inch Assassins on him. You know what I'm saying? If you my age, you know what them Assassins look like, right? Them blades, Mm-hmm. And so I saw him, I said, man, why you take your rims off? He said, man, I'm getting ready to go to, the TCU. He said, that's in the middle of the hood. He said, you don't ever go to nobody's hood stunting.
Nope, never.
Said, what we do to people that come over here stunting? I was like, I never thought of that. And mind you, I was getting ready to go on my summer trip to California. I have the funniest story. I went to the Bay Area, what I'm saying? And, the Bay Area don't really do too much gangbang, but you have your certain pockets that do. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I went to, I think I was in Pittsburgh. And I guess it was, I had on the wrong color over there, and I had to play real country. They hey, cuz, where you from? And I had to put on the most southern accent, I'm from Dallas, Texas. But the point I'm making, you gotta be smart. And a lot of people are showing you something that ain't what it is. And I know how to spot it because I know the numbers aren't adding up. But I don't want to say nothing because it's just they got a bigger platform than me. I don't want to come off as I'm hating. That's their money. I don't count nobody else's money.
You're right.
I know you bullshit.
You know when somebody bullshit.
You do.
It's easy. And the older I get, the more experience I get, the more I do, the easier it is for me to spot it within damn near instantaneously. Now I'm like you said, the numbers don't be adding up.
They don't. They don't. And I see things, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. We used to call it pulling your card. Don't make me pull your card, right? What I'm saying? It's just like, I'm at the age where I don't care if you feel like you need to get off by pretending to be somebody you're not, then that's just on you, man. That's on you. Because what's going to happen is eventually it's going to come back around and people are going to see what it is. And I always play the longevity game. I'm a very patient person. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to be validated right now. I don't even have to ever be validated. But, I always tell people, let's see where we at 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? That's going to reveal a lot.
It's going to reveal a lot.
And that's how I try to move in this space. Because people can look up stuff, man. People have access to stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you dropping some gems. But let's talk about, because this is something I've been seeing you post on the gram too, the 90 days to $1 million.
90 days to $1 million.
So first, what is that for the people that's listening?
So for those who don't know, man, it's just getting your mindset ready for money. The average person that comes into a lot of money goes broke within 2 or 3 years. It's statistically proven. People that win the lottery go broke within 2 years. You look at professional athletes. Where I come from, I know a lot of people that got into the league who were back home. I've worked with professional athletes before. I was on TMZ with a client one time. And I've seen a lot of people come into money and they don't have anything to present later. Within 6 months to a year, they're broke. And what I try to explain to people, when I tell people wealth is, rich is flashy, wealth is quiet, there's nothing wrong with having nice things. Let's not get it twisted. I like nice things. I like to travel. You follow me enough online, I'm always going, right? We stay in nice hotels, all that stuff, right? But keeping the money is more important than getting the money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people can't keep money, and it's all because of the mindset. you know, especially coming from where we come from, right?
You get it. You blowing it.
Because we have this burden to take care of everybody.
They call it the black tax.
The black tax, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to help everybody. You know, if I see your potential, but you don't want it, so why am I trying to make you want it, right? So 90 days to a meal is just getting your mind right. Like, understand that no matter what season you're walking into, if you're not mentally prepared for it, you're going to squander it. You're going to squander that job. You're going to squander that business. You're going to squander that relationship. You're going to squander that opportunity. Getting with the right person, being in the right relationship with somebody.
Facts.
It can make or break you financially. You know, most people, 50% of relationships end in divorce, marriages end in divorce.
Yep.
And nobody ever asks for their love back at the divorce proceedings. They want that bread.
They want that money back.
They want that future money, right? And so I just drop little gems and talk about things that I went through personally, talk about ways that I prepare my mind. I'll talk about books that I've read. I just talk about how you need to move. Understand that some days you're not going to want to do it. You know, your consistency is going to outweigh how you feel that day. Like, you have to get up and do it. And that's just me being consistent. Like, if I'm talking about consistency, then you know every day you're going to show up for the next 90 days and it's going to be content. And I always do 90-day challenges. So literally it keeps me going the entire year, like every quarter.
That's smart.
So
I didn't think about that. That's smart.
It makes me post because I hate social media. You know
That's where you're going to be active, though.
So it forces me, because trust me, if I don't post something, somebody's in my inbox, man, where you at?
Where you at?
But that's what it's about, mindset, man. My millionaire mindset. Like, it's literally a mindset. You have to be a millionaire up here before you're a millionaire in here.
And how I want to ask you this: how do somebody that's listening or watching, they thinking this? They're like, how do you mentally prepare yourself to get money?
This is gonna sound funny. You literally have to do the exact opposite of everything that you think you should do.
What you mean?
Shit, like, everything you think is right is probably wrong. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Think about all this shit we were taught about money. Most of that shit wasn't right. You know, we weren't really taught about credit. Nope. And that's one thing with my 90 Days to a Meal. Like, I have a credit course. I give it away for free. Like,
that's fire.
That I teach people credit for free. And not to knock anybody that's doing credit repair, but at the end of the day, like, people just don't know credit. So I'll give you free fundamentals, like a full course. Do you do credit, buddy? Okay, so I don't want to step on your toes. Okay. So, like, even within my course, I have a 10-day credit challenge. Everything is mapped out in days. And my thing is, if you go 10 days and you take this course, you will learn everything you need to know about credit. I'll teach you how I use credit to build wealth, how we use credit cards at 0% interest for 18 months to pull off, to renovate full houses, to purchase houses.
That's fire.
But my thing is, I don't have to. If I give you this for free, just imagine what you're going to pay for, right? And I get people in my inbox all day long like, bro, no one ever taught me this. I did this completely wrong. Case in point, you get a credit card. Well, we were taught, okay, charge it up, wait for the bill to come out, and pay it off. That's the worst thing to do, because one, you're maxing out your debt, your utilization. You know what I'm saying? Then you're paying it down to zero. That's a double whammy, right? Because technically, if you pay it down to zero, they don't have to report it, right? So now you're maxing everything out, dropping your score 30%. Then you're paying it down to zero, and you're doing this every single month. And you're wondering why your credit sucks. Like, it's literally just one simple adjustment. So I tell people, what you think is right is going to probably be wrong. Like, read a book, go to a seminar, force yourself to get around people who you've never been around, because they're not going to see you as little Timmy from back in the day that got into the fight at CC's Pizza. They're not going to see you as that person that everyone knows you as. They're going to see you as what you're bringing to the table in that moment. And in that moment, they'll make a decision like, this is somebody I need to have around. And then they'll open the doors for you and give you opportunities that you've never seen.
Strangers are definitely, at least from my experiences and things I've seen, strangers are definitely more prone to give you an opportunity than people you might know from that you grew up with. Because like you said, people that you grew up with, they look at you as, oh, this Tim, he ain't going. It's a strange dynamic that people...
They see themselves in you.
There you go.
They see themselves in you. So if they don't believe they can do it themselves, then why the hell would Xavier be able to do it? And then when Xavier does it, then they have to acknowledge your greatness, and that forces them to acknowledge themselves as failures, right? So it's like this competition thing, but people that don't know you, there's no need to compete with you. They want to know what you know so that they can make themselves better. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, there's nothing to compete with. Like, I don't know you personally, but that person who grew up with you, they'll find you can have the cure for whatever.
Cancer.
And they'll bring up some shit that you did in the 10th grade to invalidate you.
No, this is a fact.
You
That's
know
exactly
what
what happened. That's exactly
like, I mean, so it's like, get away from those people, man. Like, it's a yo-yo effect. If you throw the yo-yo down, you pull it back up. You need to get away from these people. And then if you want to bring the information back to them, then you can, or you can choose to do whatever you want to, but you're not obligated to save anybody, because if a person wants to be saved, they'll save themselves. And within our community, there's this obligation to save every damn body. And that's bullshit. And nobody will say it out loud. I'm going to say it out loud, man. Fuck them folks, man. Like, straight up. If they don't see the vision, fucking move on, bro. No one will say it. We think it.
We all think it.
We think it. But it's like, man, I don't want to seem like no hater, man. Fuck them people, man. Like, what? Bro, the idea is the validation. You got the idea. You don't have to go back to niggas from your hood, people that you grew up with, to get their validation. And so many people get these $1 million ideas, and instead of executing, they'll go ask somebody that has no desire to be great, hey, what you think about this? They're not going to validate that shit.
They ain't never done nothing close to it.
And most times they're going to talk you out of it because they don't have the balls to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. So now you have all these ideas, and that's why people are so frustrated, Xavier, because they can't get their shit together because they're focused on being validated by people who didn't give them that power nor that idea. Once that idea comes to your mind, that's all the validation you need, man. Execute. That's it. Get around somebody that's doing it.
That's the next step. After you got the ideas, go around other people that's done
That's it. If I get an idea, I call my attorney and ask my attorney, how do I set this up? If my tooth is hurting, I'm not going to call my attorney. I'm going to call my dentist. Right? If I break my arm, I'm not going to call my dentist. I'm going to go to my doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go to the wrong people for the right answers. You know what I'm saying? And then when shit go to hell, then it's like, oh, man, that didn't work. No, it worked. You just worked it the wrong way. Because if it didn't work, it wouldn't work for nobody.
That's game. You drop see this is, like I said in the beginning, man. This is why I like having experienced people on, because it's just a different conversation, because not only do they have the information, they got to understand it, and they applied the information that they got. So that's why I like having this conversation. That's super valuable. But I want to say this because let's say I'm trying to think of how can I word this. Like everything that you just talked about, do you think that wisdom comes from age, or is it absolutely necessary for a young person that's listening to this for them to go through a bunch of bullshit to fully grasp what you're saying?
Fail as early and as often as you can. Like, that's what I tell the kids in our mentoring program. I tell my son that. Fail as early and as often as you can. I'm not saying to go out there and break no laws and do no stupid shit.
Right.
I'm saying to fail as early and as often as you can. That's the best learner. Don't be the old nigga that's 40 years old finally realizing that he want to be somebody. Not to say that that's a bad thing, because I mean, statistics say the average millionaire is a millionaire at the age of 40, like 45. But my thing is, why? Because we followed this blueprint of doing things a certain way. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. And then we wake up. There's a saying, when you're 20, you care what everyone thinks. When you're 40, you don't give a damn what people think. And when you're 60, you realize nobody was thinking about you at all. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
So why must it take you to get to that age, 60, 50, to realize that you waste the best years of your life
worried about everybody else,
worried about what another person's going to think, when them people ain't even thinking about you? When I realized that young. Like, seriously, I didn't care, man. I realized that young. And now I look back and I'm saying I'm thankful that I did. Now my friends are like, man, all right, Tim, tell me how you did all this. And I show them. If they come to me, I'm going to tell them, right? But many of them won't come to me because they resent the fact that I went through with my shit and it materialized and they played it safe.
That's facts. That's something I just realized like 2 years ago. I'm like, man, people don't give a, and if they do care about tomorrow, they're not gonna give a fuck no more. Just being honest. If they do care, the only ones that's really gonna care is the ones that's really, really in your corner, or the ones that's just super haters. Other than that, everybody else in the middle, that's the majority. They just really don't care. They gonna see it. They might show some love, but people really don't care. And like you said, when you understand that the fear of whatever you want to do, that fear gonna go away.
It subsides with the experience. You know, I always relate everything to a relationship. Like, you see,
that's the best analogies.
You see somebody you like, you go out, you gonna holler. You might be nervous to go holler at her, but then once you start talking to her, or, you know, a lady, you talking to a guy, you realize y'all have more in common than you think.
Yep.
Then you start finding those commonalities. Then there's trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Relationships are like seasons, right? You know, when you meet people, you meet them in the spring of your life. So everything's blossoming, the trees are pretty, stuff is coming out. Then the summertime comes along, get a little hot, right? But you can put up with it. Then the fall comes and they start revealing themselves, who they really are, right? Then the winter comes and it's like, man, I don't know if I can do this anymore, right? but the relationships that sustain are the ones that can come back around to that spring, right? And that's everything in life. Like you have to start in the spring and expect the winter, but know that the spring is going to come back around. That's it. And when that spring comes back around, you're more prepared. All right, springtime. Let me put the weed and feed on my yard so my grass will be green all summer long. Okay, it's fall time. All right, let me get these leaves raked up. Like you know how to maintain it. And most people don't start in the spring. They're too afraid. It's like, just do it. Like, don't wait until you're 40 to do it. Like, when I tell people I retired at 37, most of the old people be hating on me like,
I bet.
who this think he is? You know what I'm saying?
37.
Just like, how you retire at 37?
60,
What you
I'm
do?
still working.
Bro, I get those looks. I get
know
them.
I
You know?
know it.
But it's like, why not learn it? Because you can figure it out. You can take my same blueprint at any age and apply it. Just do it. But most people don't believe enough of themselves to do it.
You do, man. We could go all day. I want to talk about being a zoning commissioner for a second.
Oh, man, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I want to ask, like, what? First, let's go here first for the people that's listening that might not even know what a zoning commissioner is. Break that down. What is a zoning commissioner?
So a zoning commissioner is essentially the person who fields the application and the zoning request for any type of zoning change in the city. So with me, I was in District 7, which is South Dallas, East Dallas, and I think it touched a really small tip of Pleasant Grove, like a really small tip. But let's say like you want to change the zoning on a property from residential to commercial or commercial to residential, or you want to start selling alcohol at your business. You want to convert your business, from one thing to another. You have to apply for a zoning request, right? So, if you're riding around Dallas, you might get to an empty building and you'll see like a sign that says Z10 something dash something. That's a zoning notice because every zoning request requires a notification. You have to notify the community what's about to take place and what's coming forward. It's all public knowledge, right? So, I'll give you an example. Like, you have Botham Jean, the gentleman who, unfortunately was killed in his home,
By the cop.
by the cop, right?
That's on the south side, right?
Botham Jean Boulevard, that was my district.
Really?
So when they petitioned to have that changed, that came to me. I had to argue, either for or against it. Why not? I made the news. I made the news a couple times off of that because I held the case a couple of times because of some of the politics that were associated with it. But that's something that when you want to change a street name, that's zoning. So what I grew up thinking real estate was, once I got on the zoning commission, I realized I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg because so many commercial businesses have to follow so many different avenues to operate, right? If you're a nightclub, you have to follow certain things, and some people just don't want you in the neighborhood, Xavier. And it ain't got nothing to do with you being a good business owner. It's just got a lot to do with them not wanting you there.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And some of my hardest cases were people not wanting certain people there. Nothing more, nothing less. Take it how you want to take it. It was what it was. And when I would call out some of the inconsistencies where, well, a person on this side of town was able to get this, how come we can't get it over here? Or why is there so much pushback in this case, but we didn't push back in that case? I didn't make too many friends.
Right.
Right?
As expected.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what a zoning commissioner is, and every city for the most part has it. And we serve as a liaison to the city council. So before a big case goes to city council, it has to come through us. And if we don't approve it, then there's a process for you to pay to get it in front of the city council. But for the most part, if it doesn't get through us, it doesn't get through.
How long did you?
I served a full term, 2 years. I started my second term, and then I retired. I said,
Really?
You know what? I'm focusing on my documentary, and I feel like that was a little bit more important than the zoning commission.
What was during that 2-year period? What was like the biggest lesson regarding real estate that you learned?
That everything that I thought I knew about real estate, I had no clue.
And what do you mean by that?
I was in residential sales.
Okay.
And I did residential flips and stuff like that. Black people own like, it's a weird statistic, like 0.000000016 of all commercial real estate in the United States. Like it's so small it doesn't even factor in. It's a crazy number. Just look it up.
I believe.
Google how much commercial real estate is owned by black people. Like we don't own any commercial. Like of course, if I say that, somebody will come in the comments, man, I own them. Yeah, but you're like one of 3 people in your entire city, right? I mean, we live in Dallas.
Right.
You know how big Dallas is. You know what's going on in Dallas. We don't own none of those buildings. That's why it's always such a big thing when you see black people buying buildings. We don't own any buildings. You're from Chicago.
Right.
Black folks don't own them buildings. None of them.
That's a fact.
So I learned that it's important that we buy commercial real estate because there's so many uses for commercial real estate. In a city like Dallas, you can have mixed use where, the first level is a business, the top level is, condos or something like that. Like uptown, some of the areas in Dallas, even out here, this building right here is mixed use, right? So I learned that. I learned that we're light years behind when it comes to commercial real estate. I learned that there's no such thing as gentrification.
Let's go. Let's get into it, man.
Let's go.
This is on the hot
Let's
topic.
go.
This is on the hot topic. So
There's no such thing as gentrification.
what do you mean by that?
Okay. I hate the term, but I learned being a zoning commissioner that there's no such thing as gentrification. There's redevelopment. What happens is, in order for your community to be gentrified or redeveloped, you have to sign off on it. You have to literally give them the property. Nothing more, nothing less. So, are we being pushed out or are we giving our property away? And I would say 50% of the time we're giving our property away.
I would agree.
Grandma passes away. She's got 8 kids. There's no will in place. No one's helping grandma take care of the house. Grandma gets a reverse mortgage. Reverse mortgage company only has grandma on the paperwork. Grandma dies. You have 90 days to get that property back from the reverse mortgage company. They won't talk to anyone but grandma because there's no power of attorney in place. It's going to take you 120 days to probate grandma's non-existent will. By then, grandma's property's gone.
Gone.
That happens every day. I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten as a real estate broker where people are like, Tim, my grandma just died. Can you help us sell our house? We go pull the deed. There's a lien on it from a reverse mortgage company. They won't talk to us. And then no one in the family has the money, or I'm not going to say has the money. No one in the family is willing to pay for the attorney because we got money for everything.
Everything goes.
And when you say that, people get pissed off at you. But I don't care. I don't really give a fuck because at this point in the game, we're not here to, appease people's, egos. Like we got money for everything but bail, attorney fees, and funerals. Right? But if you say that out loud, then you think you're better than folks. No, man, I've sacrificed my whole life helping my people. And at this point in the game, I'm doing it strategically with people that want it. You know what I'm saying? So there's no such thing as gentrification. That was my biggest lesson on the zoning commission, that we give away our property. And then what happens is within our communities, we don't want development. We want things to stay the same. We want things to stay the same forever, right? With inflation, with everything. Think about South Dallas. I took some people that we know to one of my properties in South Dallas. Man, this property is a bike rides away from the Fair Park. It's right across the street from a train station. Like, it's 5 minutes away from downtown. Like, you can see buildings from downtown. This is prime real estate. But no one wants to redevelop. No one wants to do anything in that part of the area. We don't. But then as you drive around, you're seeing all these big houses being put up. And like, we thinking, oh, nobody want to live over here. Somebody wants to live here. And when I was telling people, yo, you can buy a house for $20,000 cash, $15,000 cash. I don't nobody want to live over there. All right. So then me and my wife started doing it. Now, those same people, man, you got any houses for rent? No, I don't. My tenants are good. You could have bought this house for $20,000, but you went out and got a new car. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could have took my free 10-day credit challenge and you could have learned how to get the money, build your credit up in 5 months and learn how to take off $20,000, $30,000 from a credit card and bought it. We bought a property and just held it for 3 years. We didn't even do anything to it. We just held on to it. And man, that property has multiplied 6-7 times.
Really?
Yeah. We finally just renovated it, put it on the market. It's been rented out for a couple of years now, but it's multiplied. We paid $22 for it. It's worth around $190 now.
That's crazy.
So, we put about $40,000 into it. But it's like, that was the whole neighborhood. So there's no such thing as gentrification. There's redevelopment, and you have to put your foot down and say, I want to be a part of this. Like, don't sell grandma's house. Stop selling your grandmama's house. You don't have to live there. If you don't like the neighborhood, just hold on to it.
Hold on to
Pay
it.
the taxes on it. Like, but don't sell it because gentrification happens when we give up the property.
No facts.
But no one wants to say that out loud because that requires accountability, and we don't like accountability. We fucking hate it.
We got a culture that we got to be the most. And I'm all about accountability because this is how I was raised. This is my dad, specifically my dad. I'm going to take accountability. Even if it wasn't my fault, he going to find a reason to put like, hey, you could have did something. You could have did something differently where this going to happen. So accountability, I'm all for that. But I feel like we got the most anti-accountable culture that I've ever seen in my. I only been alive damn 30 years, but I know it couldn't have been a culture somewhere else that was less accountable as us.
Bro, where's my camera? I kind of look at the camera and fuck this culture. Like, straight up. I'm on a mission to completely create a new culture, man. Like, this culture that they give us, man, they call it our culture. That's not black culture. That's nigga culture. That's that nigga shit, man. And won't nobody say it, bro. It's like we're in an abusive relationship. You know what I'm saying? We just getting our ass kicked every day, every fucking day. But we show up and I love you.
I love the culture.
Man, fuck this culture, man. What is this culture giving us, man? Like, it ain't giving us a damn thing. That's not
so many of us killed. So many of us locked up because of the culture.
Bro, in the past 3 weeks, 3 rappers have been killed.
See?
Like, I'm just saying, man, like, nobody will say it. It's like, man, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't have to answer to anybody, man. Like, I can't be counseled at this point in the game. I'll go away and you'll never see me again and I'll be straight.
And it wouldn't bother me.
It wouldn't bother me at all. But I'm raising kids, man. I have a mentoring program. I'm teaching young boys, young black boys specifically, how to be better black men. And every day I got to fight this fucking culture.
Talk about it, bro.
I got to fight this culture. I gotta fight them, give them an alternative to being a real nigga. Like hood, like, oh man, somebody told me the other day, man, I'm taking away your what they said, we was talking about something. They said, I'm gonna take away your black card. I'm like, man, first of all, you can never take away my blackness, but specifically, what can a black card buy?
Damn.
And like, we gotta answer that question. Like, we gotta bring value to who we are. And all this bullshit, like, it ain't getting us nowhere. And I'm just tired of being in this abusive relationship. Like, I filed for divorce from the culture, man. I'm seeking a settlement, man. I'm gone, bro. Like, I'm gone from this culture, man. We finna create a whole new wave. And you can stay over there if you want this culture. That's your culture. You ain't gotta come rock with me. You don't have to. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the military. We don't need you, man. You signed up. You come sign up for this, right? But people need to start having enough courage to say that out loud.
So many people that feel it.
And I understand why people leave and never come back. Because when they try to show you, hey, man, this shit fucked up. Oh, man, come on, man. I mean, come on, but but they do a turkey giveaway every year. You know, what the fuck is a turkey giveaway? Well, you don't own no property over here, bro. This ain't your hood. I went on a campaign to stop claiming my hood. I haven't said my hood one time.
I love it.
I said I'm from Dallas. It's taking everything in me not to say, but I'm on this campaign. I say, you can't claim your hood if you don't own property in it. And I own property where I grew up, but I'm just setting the precedence. Like, whenever people tell me where they from, the first thing I say is, do you own property over there? No, well, stop claiming that shit. Just say the city. Just say the city. You're a resident. You're not an owner. Like, don't claim your hood around me. First thing I'm gonna say, do you own property? We know everything about it. We know every fucking sports statistic. Everything. We know every fucking movie line.
Music.
We know every fucking lyric. All these kids know every fucking dance, but niggas can't even tell you their credit score. You know what I'm saying? They can't even tell you their credit score.
Talk about it.
Come on, man. Like, this shit getting old.
Bro, I love that you saying it because you actually mentoring the youth. So at the end of the day, no matter what anybody will hear this and think, they can't say shit to you because you are here really in the field trying to help our youth and raise them up into the right direction. And I feel like, and I've been feeling like this for a while, I always talk to close friends about this. We got a culture that we praise degeneracy, like just keeping it real. And anything honorable.
Get high, get drunk, fuck bitches, kill niggas. That's the hook for our culture. I made a video. I was get high, get drunk, fuck bitches, kill niggas. That's our culture. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Show me anything else. Tell me what else they're about, right? Get high, get drunk, fuck bitches, kill niggas. That's our culture.
Bro, you ain't lying.
Show me the lie.
You not lying.
Don't point. And somebody gonna come in the comments, yeah, but what about they gonna name them one or two niggas that's out there doing something. Okay, so now we gotta ride the back of one or two people? Like, when I go talk to kids in schools in the hood, I said, what you wanna be when you grow up? I wanna play football. I wanna play basketball. Okay, tell me something else besides a fucking sport. Crickets. All the boys can't say shit. The girls, I wanna be a veterinarian, I wanna be an attorney. The boys can't tell me shit. I could drive across town and go to Plano, go to Frisco, and have the same conversation. I want to be an engineer. I want to be an attorney. I want to be a doctor. I'm going to work in my dad's business. It's a culture, bro. Mm-hmm. They're being taught from the ground up a different game, and that other shit is just the cherry on top.
It's the cherry on top.
We taught that the cherry on top is our life. You know what I'm saying? You know, and if you don't go to prison or hit licks or rob niggas, then you not a real nigga.
Yep.
So, okay, I'm a real nigga now. I got went to prison, did all this goofy shit. Now I'm back home trying to reintegrate into society. I can't live in certain places because they won't get, places won't rent the felons. I can't get certain jobs. Okay, we'll start a business. Okay, all right, now I'm trying to start a business. I still need to get funded. It's so much stuff that having a felony will fuck you out of.
It's facts.
And we paid to have people's felonies removed. So I can speak on this shit. Anybody got something to say? We the only company in Dallas County that actually sponsored the Dallas County Expunction Fair.
Talk your shit.
Look that shit up, man. So the first annual one. I'll say the first annual one, right? But I'm just saying, nobody was a sponsor. So I done paid for people to get their records clean. I know the process. You dig? And it's like, people, well, man, come on. No, fuck that. Stop come on, man, and me, man, and let's get this shit together, man. You have access to the world on your phone. I didn't have this shit, man. If I'd have had this shit
at 16, 17,
oh shit, I'd be a billionaire. I'm just keeping it real because I had the mindset
and the work ethic.
Like, you got this in your hand. There's no excuses, man. So that's what we doing, man. We creating ways for people who don't really know concepts. I'll teach it to you to a certain extent for free, but we're starting an academy where you can literally buy these little courses for $9, $10, $20, and just learn certain aspects of business and life that nobody ever taught you. And then I'm just getting rid of the excuses. Like, we got to eliminate the excuses, man. You're going to have to take a pill. It's either going to be the red pill or the blue pill,
Red pill
man.
or the blue pill, like the Matrix, goddamn it.
Yeah.
No. We gonna have to make sure we do this one again, man. I feel like with this went by so fast. I realized we damn near running on an hour. But only got one more thing I want to ask you, just for the people that's tuning in. For someone that's not where they want to be, whether it's financially, but mainly when you feel like you're not where you want to be. Mainly 9 times out of 10 got something to do with money.
Every time.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
So if you that person listening, and you feel like you're probably not in the right environment, right situation, but you want to fast track your life, get in the right position. Like, what's your best piece of actionable advice that this person could take? They might not even have much, but they could apply this today and get the ball rolling in the right direction.
Accept 100% responsibility for where you at. Like, don't be the person that blames people, my mama, my dad, and my grandma, the economy, the president, like, when I start talking to people about their problems, they always blaming someone else.
Thanks.
You got to understand, you are exactly where you are because of the decisions that you made. Okay? If that was the case, then there wouldn't be no successful black people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, all black people will be fucked, right? Is there a such thing as racism and systematic racism? Yes. Okay?
Yep.
I have a master's degree. My master's degree is in history. I've studied it extensively. I talk about it all the time. I ain't never ran from that conversation, all right? With that being said, we have access to information now. So one thing that can get you through the door is your money. Your money will get you places that relationships can't get you, man. And then once you get in the door, and you don't have to have a lot of money to be successful. What you don't have in money, you need to make up an effort. But you got to stop making excuses. If you don't, bro, there's been times where I didn't go to sleep at night because I was so focused on my purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, bro, you're not going to be successful. I don't care who you are.
Thanks.
Take 100% responsibility, identify your purpose, and pursue that shit with everything you got, and stop man, just jump off the bridge, man. Learn how to fly on the way down. You're not going to die. You know what I'm saying? You're going to bump your head, but you're going to be all right. Like, take that lick, man. Move. Get the fuck out your city.
Facts.
People out of town niggas winning. Remember I told you that shit? Remember I told you that when I first met you? I said out of town niggas winning. You want to know why? Because in that new city, they don't know you.
Nope.
You might have an accent that they like. I mean, it might be something as small as that. Man, this dude got a nice accent. You from Chicago. You can take advantage of that Chicago shit like a mug. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Man, I'm telling you.
I do.
You don't think I throw this southern accent on a little bit more when I go to the West Coast and East? Move, leave. Even if you live in Dallas, move to Fort Worth. Go to Houston. Go to San Antonio. Go somewhere, man. That's what our ancestors did. They got out the South. They got on them trains and they went west. People from Louisiana went to California. People from Alabama went to Detroit. People from Mississippi went to Chicago. Yep. People in Florida went to New York. Get the fuck out your environment. Because when you get dropped into that new environment, it's sink or swim, and you're not gonna fail.
You're not.
You'll find a job quicker being an out-of-town nigga than you will being a local nigga.
Man, what?
I'm trying to tell people this shit.
This is a fact.
Bro, I was a hiring manager at the bank.
When you're back against the wall, you realize how strong you really are.
And that's the thing. We operate from a comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? You got to get up out your comfort zone. Find your purpose, man. Like, find your purpose. But start believing in yourself. That's the last thing I would say. Believe in yourself. Like, believe in your shit. If don't nobody believe in your shit, you sell your shit. I don't give a fuck. If you go live and it's 2 people, talk to them 2 people. Because them 2 people know 2 people. And they know 2 more people. And that's your tribe.
Yep.
Like, just believe in yourself, man. But you got to take 100% responsibility for where the fuck you at. Stop making excuses.
Man, you could drop this goddamn mic for real on that one. That was a game changer. And that message so powerful. Just like I said, that's exactly that message you gave. That's how my father raised me for real. He's like, as long as you point the finger at other people, the responsibility gonna be on them, and that means stuff ain't gonna change until they change.
They control you.
They control it.
They control you, bro. I moved out the house at 17, bro. My mom always telling the story. She said, you walked across the stage from graduation with your suitcase. That was her. She's like, I always wanted to be grown, bro. I always wanted to get out there, bro. I've always there was a time in my life, bro, I ate ramen noodles and Earl Campbell hot links every day. And water and drunk. I was broke as shit. Man, but I got it, bro. I got it. It was those nights that made me who I am today.
This is my last thing, especially for the guys that's listening. Struggle is, in my opinion, struggle is essential for a man. You have to go through some kind of struggle because it's gonna build that character. Once you get past that, you're gonna appreciate it too. Like, just like how you said, them hot dogs and noodles every day.
Every day.
And I bet you would those
man,
moments.
I'm like the Bubba Gump of ramen noodle, man. I can make any kind of ramen noodle, bro.
But I bet you appreciate looking back on it now. I bet you like, damn, I'm glad I went through that.
Bro, I'm telling you, it made me who I was, man. I was hungry, literally and figuratively, man. Like, I said, nah, man, there's got to be something better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in this shit. I believe in what I'm doing right now, man. When that shit took off, I laid the foundation for what I was doing for about 6 months. And, bro, that 6 months foundation has sustained me up until this day.
That's crazy.
Up until this day, it sustained me. I told I never forget, in my second cycle, when me and my wife, we were engaged, and I told her, you give me 6 months, I promise you'll never have to work a day in your life again if you choose not to work a day in your life again. She was like, okay, I'll take that deal.
I'd say, hey.
And I busted my ass. And I'll never forget when she came home one day from work and she was feeling some kind of way. I said, man, fuck that job, man. You know that I lived up to my part of the bargain. If you don't want to work, fuck that job. Bro, we went up to her job that day. She was in education. She went to her computer, typed up her resignation letter, cleaned out her office, gave the letter to her boss, put it on his desk, and was gone. You should have to get 2 weeks notice. I lived up to my part. I did my part.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? But that was from them ramen noodle meals, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like that's where it started. That was a good feeling. That was a good feeling, bro. I felt like the man that day.
You can't appreciate. I feel like you can't truly appreciate. Like, you can't truly appreciate riches and wealth if you've never been broke down poor before.
Yeah.
If you've been rich all your life, do you truly appreciate this shit? and you ain't had nothing, and you get something, you like, damn. Though you just you value the days looking back. I remember I ain't had shit. You just sitting there like, damn, I remember I ain't had nothing.
Yeah.
Look where I'm at now.
Man.
That's what make it feel. You feel it then, like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I remember I was broke, man. I told my sister I was broke. I think she told my mom, and next you know, my sister came up to the house. She's like, Mama said give you the gas card. You know what I'm saying? So you can get you some gas. Like, seriously, man. I was like, man, I don't need no help. My mom was like, bro, we a tribe. Like, stop trying to do it all yourself. You got people that actually want to see you win, that want to help you. Like, take this gas card. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pay you back. I ain't asked to be paid back. And that's what got me back and forth when I first started selling real estate, man. Then I got a job. I was selling, and then I started, okay, I'm gonna sell houses to people at my job. And that's how I built my business. I sold houses to people at my job. And then the rest is history.
That's, man. Hey, I told everybody that's listening and watching, I told y'all this is gonna be one of those ones, man. This is a legendary episode in the books for real, bro. So, but before we wrap up, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you greatly for coming on the show and doing this, bro. This one of them ones.
Thank
man.
you so much. Can I plug the book?
No, I was about to.
You just about to do it?
Yeah, I was about to
Let me
say
give you
it.
your copy, man. I'll make sure I sign it for you too. But man, for everyone who doesn't know me, I wrote a book called Real Dope, an in-depth comparison between real estate and the dope game. It literally talks about exactly what it sounds like. When I came back from the military, a lot of my partners were selling dope. They were seeing the success that I was having in real estate, and they always asked me, man, how'd you get so successful in real estate?
Right.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I just really wrote a book to tell them how I did it.
Exactly how you did it.
But the purpose of the book was to keep folks out of prison. Like, if you can sell dope, you can sell houses. I don't make a single penny off this book. 100% of the proceeds goes to Real Youth Mentoring. That's how we finance my nonprofit. I've never made a dime off this book. This is like my tithe to my mentoring program.
Fire, bro.
So if you get this book, it's on Amazon on my website. That's your contribution. But, man, I'll never forget somebody called me one day. It was a random dude. He was like, man, it's Tim. I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, I got your book, man. I want to meet you. Meet me at this abandoned house in Oak Cliff. And so, being a hood dude I am, I'm like, all right,
Bring the strap.
So I pulled up and he said, man, I got your book. And literally, I stopped selling dope after I read your book. He said, I bought trucks, I bought trailers. He said, I want to buy real estate. He said, your formula literally is the dope game. That's it. He said, so now I want to get into real estate. And I sold him his first investment property. And he went on and bought multiple. So it's literally a brick. If you can sell a brick, you can move this brick. It's all it is, man. And it's just common sense shit. And I wrote it at a low level because I know, sadly, statistics show that we don't like to read. Black people don't like to read. So I wrote it. It's a funny book. I tell my story. I insert myself into it. Change the name of some people in there. I don't want to incriminate none of my partners, nobody. But it's a fun book, man. So check it out. Like I said, it's on Amazon, Real Dope. You'll get it the next day if you got Prime.
Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all get that. I'm gonna put the link, the Amazon link in the bio of this in the description of this episode, and also plug in where people can follow you at and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow me at Tim Jackson Now on Instagram, and if you want to get involved with the mentoring program, Real Youth Mentoring, but definitely follow me at Tim Jackson Now. I have an interesting message. I don't bullshit you. I don't sugarcoat anything. Man, I'm doing it because we need it. That's it. I can go away tomorrow and y'all never see me again. I'll be straight. But my thing is to create a brighter future to hand over to people. So give me a follow. We have fun on my page. I talk a lot of shit, but we have fun. I give you a lot of game.
It's only been an hour and you gave a ton of game, bro. And I want to say once again, bro, I appreciate you coming on. And before we wrap up, all you guys, y'all can find me on all platforms, well, except Instagram. Like, I'm trying to still get that back. I should be back by the time this is out. So y'all can follow me at Xavier C. Miller on all platforms. Y'all can follow D on all platforms as well, and the Millionaire Mindsets page on all platforms as well. Appreciate y'all for tuning into another episode of the Millionaire Mindsets podcast. See you guys next episode. Peace.
Gotta get your brain right if you're trying to make $1 million. If you ain't gonna do it for yourself, then do it for your mama. Only stay surrounded by them people if you know they solid. Elevate your hustle up today to double up your profit. Trying to learn some game, Xavier gonna talk about it. No Deanna, speak that shit that everybody vouching. Ain't no more excuses valid. Get up off the couch and get up in your bag. To your bank account, need an accountant.